The children who are worse off today than they would have been 100 years ago. And the rescue mission to save a rare baby dolphin. Hello, and first to the plight of millions of children living in Britain. According to a new report by the charity NCH Action for Children, many families in 1994 are actually worse off than they would have been in Victorian times. For Newsround, Lucy Bowden reports.
The charity was set up 125 years ago to rescue children from the misery of hunger and neglect. But NCH Action for Children says little's changed since Victorian times. It says a quarter of Britain's children still live in poverty, even in the 1990s. Mary Cooper has 4 young children, and her husband's wage is topped up with government benefits. She says the money just isn't enough to feed her family properly.
I mean, they don't have the things that they should have, like fruit and fresh vegetables and proper meats. I mean, I just can't afford it yet.
The charity says more than 1.5 million families are in the same situation, and it compares it to conditions in a Victorian workhouse. In 1876, a workhouse child would have eaten a diet of bread, gruel, meat and potatoes. That would cost £5.46 per week per child at today's prices. Income support allows just £4.15. But MP David Willits disputes these figures.
There is no attempt within income support to work out exactly the element that goes to the diet or to other factors. The important thing is that income support for families has gone up by £1 billion on top of inflation since 1988.
Nevertheless, NCH Action for Children wants the government to give poorer families more money so that all Britain's children get a better deal in the 1990s.
The leader of Sinn Féin, the political organisation that's connected to the terrorist group the IRA, says he's confident of finding peace in Northern Ireland. Gerry Adams' comments came during a short but controversial visit to the United States. Mr. Adams also said he wanted to see the IRA broken up and British troops taken out of the province. But the Prime Minister, John Major, said Mr. Adams' words meant nothing until there was an end to the violence. With more on the story, here's Juliet.
This is Gerry Adams' first visit to America for 20 years. Until now, he's been banned from entering the country, which has a large Irish community, because of Sinn Féin's connections with the IRA. Despite protests from some politicians here in Britain, America's government decided to let Mr. Adams in for 2 days. Gerry Adams arrived in New York last night to put his side of the Northern Ireland story to the Americans. His first words to the assembled press struck a hopeful note. Due to British government broadcasting restrictions, Mr. Adams' words are spoken by an actor.
This generation of Republicans is going to see peace in Ireland. Whether it comes in the short term or the long term, we're going to see a lasting peace in our country. I hope it will be done in the short term.
Welcome to Larry King.
From the airport, Mr. Adams headed straight for the American television stations to talk to the nation's viewers. It's understood America's President Bill Clinton agreed to Gerry Adams' visit because he hoped it would help the cause of peace in Northern Ireland. But many people back in Britain are unhappy with the decision. Gerry Adams is a very controversial figure. He denies any association with the violence committed by the IRA, who don't want Northern Ireland to be a part of the United Kingdom. Yet he's offended many people by appearing to lend his support to their actions. One such occasion was last October, when he helped carry the coffin at the funeral of Thomas Begley. He was an IRA bomber who was killed while laying a bomb in a chip shop in the Shankill Road. The IRA said it carried out the attack, which killed 10 people and injured 57. The search for peace in Northern Ireland has been a long and frustrating one. Many feel Gerry Adams holds the key in persuading the IRA to lay down its arms. Hopes for peace grew stronger when the governments of Britain and Ireland signed a joint declaration before Christmas. John Major and the Irish Prime Minister Albert Reynolds agreed that the people of Ireland should decide their own future. It was hoped Sinn Féin would accept the plan and the fighting would soon end. But that hasn't happened, and a solution to end the troubles is still to be found. Krishnan.
The only school in Britain which teaches children how to become farmers is facing an uncertain future. Brymore School near Bridgewater in Somerset is being threatened with cuts in the amount of money it gets from the local county council. For Newsround, Kate Chaxfield reports.
There's no other school like Brymore in Britain. It has its own blacksmith's foundry and its own working farm, which makes a small profit selling produce to the public.
Pick one of the lambs up.
As well as normal lessons, pupils at Brymore learn all about farming. 3/4 of them are boarders. They have to sleep at school to be ready for milking at 6:30 each morning. But the future of the school is looking uncertain. Until now, the boarding fees of many of the pupils have been paid for by the county council. But suddenly that money, around £250,000 a year, is likely to be stopped. The head teacher, Tim Pearce, says he's very concerned.
We have boys here who have benefited very much from the experience we offer them, and many of those have come from less than privileged backgrounds. And I think it's those very boys that might have benefited most who are now being deprived of the opportunities here.
The County Council says the government's ordered it to make big savings next year. The council leader, Chris Clark, says he's got no choice but to cut Brymore's funding.
We would never want to harm people who are less well off, but obviously our priority is to protect the children in the normal schools, the conventional schools, and that's been our priority with these limited amounts of funds.
So the area of the cross-section... A final decision will be made in 2 weeks' time, but no one expects the council to change its mind. And soon many families won't be able to afford to send their children to Britain's only farming school.
Britain's top-selling toy last year was the model of the Thunderbird's base. At the 1993 Toy of the Year Awards, it was revealed that Tracy Island beat off challenges from Captain Scarlet, Action Man and the WWF wrestlers. It seems Tracy Island would have won the year before as well if the makers could have kept up with the demand. Finally tonight, Australian wildlife experts have swung into action to save the life of a rare newborn baby dolphin. The Indo-Pacific humpback dolphin, who's known as Dudley, was found washed up on a beach. Experts began by helping the distressed creature calm down. Then they took Dudley to a nearby pool where he was fed a special milk formula. Finally, he was flown to a bigger pool to be with other dolphins. Now the experts are trying to find an adult female dolphin to adopt and feed him. And that's all from Newsround for today. Join us again around the same time tomorrow. From Juliet and me, bye-bye.